no. Mistress Brewer, not Mrs.
Hey everybody!
I'm Mistress Brewer and I run the House of Brewer down in Kent, and I've come to talk to you about beginner's impact play really and how to do it safely. I've been on scene quite a few years. I'm not going to tell you how many, and you work out how old I was then. And I've seen some really good play over the years, but I've seen some really shocking play as well. And what I want to teach you to do is to do it properly. Now, I'm going to hand a load of stuff around during the talk. If you've got a partner that you want to pair up with and play with it very gently, please do so. Please don't fire somebody across the room. That's not the intent of today. Now, the most important part of any BDSM play is safety and consent. Okay, you cannot just whack somebody playfully. They haven't consented. And you'll hear a few abbreviations referring to this. The most commonly used ones are SSC. Does anybody know what that means? Go on, put your hand up then.
Safe, sane, consensual.
Okay, can you explain that?
Making sure that you're engaging in kink that is... What's happening?
Hang on a minute. Somebody else wants to come in.
Sorry, say that again.
Well, whenever you're about to engage in kink, make sure you are safe. Hopefully sane. I know a lot of us can... Yeah. And obviously consensual.
Yeah. Basically, you just got to make sure that people know what they are actually agreeing to do and they're not under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or pressure from somebody else. What about rack? Who's heard of that one? Yeah, go for it. Over there.
Risk-aware consensual kink.
Okay, do you want to explain it?
So basically, most of the things that we do in kink is not exactly safe. So it basically means that the people entering the scene are aware of the risks.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. What about prick? I know it's not what you shout at your dom. Anybody know what that means? Are we back to the Izzy? Go for it.
I read a lot. Personal responsibility in kink.
Okay, personal responsibility, informed consensual kink. Prick's got a C in it. Go back to school.
I can't spell.
I thought we were in school. That's how I'm going to explain it.
Yeah.
We are in school because I did actually used to be a teacher. So if I come across a bit teachery, then I'm really sorry, but yeah, that's just me.
It shows.
Basically, people playing take responsibility for their own safety and consent to the planned play. As a submissive, you can't put all of that responsibility on the top or the dom. You have to be responsible for your own safety. You've got to know the potential results of what you're doing and make sure that all parties in the play scene are aware of what you intend doing. You can't just get somebody to agree that you're going to do some impact play on them and they never actually go any further than knowing what you're going to do. So, for instance, I've borrowed this off Fudge. This is not a starter toy. So, Izzy, do you want to bend over? No?
Yeah.
No, probably not, actually. I'm going to pass it round. It's quite heavy, be careful. That is very much a decoration more than an actual toy. James, don't you dare. This is not a starter toy. It's not quite as dangerous as that one. And probably using it sideways, it wouldn't hurt somebody too much, but you don't want to be swinging something this big. Got it? It's heavy. So when you're choosing your toys, don't go for the big impressive stuff first. Use it as decor, but don't swing it. So allow every person in the planned scene to have their say. Let them share their limits. Now, people have hard limits and soft limits. Who knows what the difference is? Yeah?
Hard limits, absolutely out of order at the moment. It's not going to happen. Soft limits are
Yeah.
trying it out, but I'm unsure.
Yeah, very much like. Always remember that even when you're planning a scene, you are equal. Okay? Yes, when you're playing in a scene, there's a top, there's a bottom, or dom and sub, but when you're planning it, you both get to have your say. So, yes, the dom is often in charge of sort of saying what they think might be going to happen, but the submissive also needs to say what they would like, because unless both people are getting something out of a scene, it's absolutely pointless. Okay? So, in here I've got the anatomy of a good scene. Decide what role you'll play. A lot of people are natural tops, a lot of people are natural bottoms, but you get a lot of switches. So decide who's going to do what. Find a partner. Don't just grab somebody off the street. Okay, find a partner that is into the type of play that you want to take part in. Decide what play you want to include. Now, in this little workshop, it's going to be impact play. Discuss. You cannot discuss enough. Okay? You need to know why that person wants what they want. You need to know if they've got any medical conditions, if they're on any medication, if they're diabetic, where's their rescue pack, because when you're playing, all the chemicals that run around your body can actually have a bit of an effect on things. So you need to know all of this. Check any contraindications or warnings. Some people that are on certain medication, they've got very sensitive skin or skin that's brittle and breaks easily. Find out and then take into account what you're going to whack them with. If somebody's got brittle skin, don't hit them with a cane because it will go straight through it. Use something flatter. Set your safe word. What's a safe word?
Red.
Pineapple.
Green.
Yep. The standard safe words are red, which means stop right now. Get off me, don't touch me anymore. Amber, which means I'm sort of approaching my tolerance. Can you back that off a bit? And green, which doesn't often get used. I'm really enjoying that. Carry it on.
Ouch.
No, ouch is not a safe word. Neither is stop, get off, or anything else like that. Some people don't like to speak when they're having any BDSM play because they find it sort of pulls them out of that lovely floaty space they've gone to. Also, if you're playing in a noisy environment, you may not hear them scream. Okay? So have a safe signal. Some people choose to drop a bunch of keys.
It just sounded really sinister.
It is if you're playing
No
with
one
me.
hears you scream.
Some people use those little balls that you get in the toy shop that when you drop them, they bounce, they flash. You can see them in practically any conditions. Discuss what your aftercare might be. Some people can take a good beating, get up, walk away, say thanks, and off they go. There's nothing wrong with them. They don't need any aftercare. Other people get a horrible drop from all the endorphins, etc. They can feel shaky, they can feel sick, faint. They might just need a hug. Usually sugar and a warm blanket in 5 minutes is enough, but some people may need more. Never forget to feed back after a scene. Always contact somebody. If they're not somebody you're living with, contact them the next day. Where are you going with that? Contact them the next day just to see how they're feeling. Discuss what happened during the scene, particularly when you're starting out. Now, how do I know what I like? You don't. You have to find out. There are all types of sensation, and Izzy is about to go through most of them.
Voluntarily.
Absolutely voluntarily, yes. Yes, I haven't promised a chocolate. So, when you're trying something out, give it a couple of tries. Don't just try it once and say, I don't like it. Always try it a second time, because the headspace you're in on any particular day can really affect whether you like something or whether you absolutely hate it. Now, all different sensations available from Impact Toys, including that one that just hit the floor. This, what do you think it would feel like? It's not awfully heavy. Presented behind. This isn't a particularly good one. This was actually a prototype that a friend made, and I sent it back saying, actually, it's too big for my hand, and it's not flared enough. So if I swing it a lot, it's like to fly out of my hand and actually hit somebody in the audience.
Am I exposing my rear? Or?
You can expose your rear or you can not expose your rear. It depends whether the chap behind you wants to be traumatised for life or not.
Am I allowed to say fuck you?
No.
Oh.
What's the safe word? Over.
Going over.
Okay, Izzy is going to feedback as to what this feels like. So, who thinks this is going to feel stingy? Thuddy.
Mixture of the two.
You reckon a mixture of the two? Okay, present backside. That's not really presented,
Oh,
is it?
right.
Are we ready?
Sting.
Sting. Okay, so that's sting. Oh, what about this little gem? Makes a noise. It's split. So people that like the sort of the showmanship of whacking somebody but don't want to really hurt them, these are great because they make a noise, but they don't particularly hurt. Well, she may say otherwise. How's that?
More slappy, less stingy slap. No.
Didn't actually.
Business hours.
I'm not going to go through them all, don't worry. I'm going to pass them round in a minute. There's that other one you lent me. What about this one?
Just tell me when I need to stand up because I look like a right otherwise.
You reckon deep thud? Why?
Well, if that one's already been explained, then maybe
Okay.
To that one.
that's going to be stink. Because that one's
You reckon a sting? Okay.
What
What about you? What do you think?
that's going to stink.
Depends on the force.
I'm not going to hit her that hard.
It's not
Nice.
Okay, so what if I did that? What do you think? She's panicking.
By the pretty sound is what I'd say.
Are you ready?
Yep. Ow.
How was that?
It was a feeling. Stingy.
Considerably more than you expected?
Yeah.
This one's called a dead weight because it's got the beads inside that actually absorb the impact. So it stops it sort of bouncing. So there's loads and loads of different types of paddles. Paddles are a great place to start because they actually don't do too much damage, despite what that felt like. Don't think that, the bigger the paddle, the more pain. The most painful paddle I possess is that one. Okay? Are we ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
That didn't sound like a yes.
Is that nice?
What am I allowed to say?
Thank you.
See, I was thinking beginning with a C, personally. But
That would be the
you,
last.
the object.
That would be the last after clear up curry you got, I'll tell you. So, paddles, good start. She consented just by being there, don't worry. Some paddles are a bit more decorative. I've put this in because it classes as a paddle. I love posing around with that, but I'd never hit anybody with it because it would probably break. And I love it, so I don't want to break it. Okay, the main thing to watch when you're playing with a paddle is it will redden the skin quite badly, but it takes quite a while for it to bruise. However, you often find that the skin starts to look wet where you're hitting if you go over and over in the same place. Now that wet patch may just look a bit red today, but I can guarantee tomorrow it'll be black. Okay, so all of these things can damage you quite badly. Now, according to the law, you cannot consent to that damage. So it's really, really important that when you're playing with somebody, you know them well, you trust that they're not going to go running to the police with a black backside tomorrow. Okay? So think before you play. If you've got the slightest doubt for the person that you're going to play with, just don't do it. Okay? Not everybody is set to play with everybody else. But just make sure. Now, one of the other really popular things that people use for impact play is canes. And all sorts of different materials. Canes can do quite a lot of damage. I did have it written down somewhere about how fast the tip of a cane is travelling when it meets you. And it's quite fast. You've also got to think, it's a bit like a stiletto on a wooden floor. It's a very tiny area with quite a lot of pressure. Canes can actually cut you. So if you're going to use a cane, very often when you're starting out, it's better to use it just as a bit of a threat rather than to hit anybody particularly hard with it. However, I've been using them for years. Lots of different materials. You get everything from just a standard school cane to a lovely whippy cane. Did you like the sound? These are PTFE canes. They're bendy. They don't look as if they do a lot of damage, but my God, they hurt. Okay, particularly that one because it's quite heavy. Izzy will feed that back in a moment. Nylon ones, they're great. Please be careful with things like this. These are aluminium ones, and if you catch somebody's coccyx, particularly with something like this, you can break it. And I speak from experience that a broken coccyx takes many months and makes sitting quite uncomfortable for some time. Which would you like to try to feed back?
Aluminium.
Sure?
Yeah,
Okay. Up you get.
I have one.
So how do you think it's going to feel? Stingy, heavy? There's no give or very, very little give. Have you got the mark on the floor to take the run up from, or did that get rubbed out? Only 3? Spoil sport. Ready? How was that? Nothing. How was that?
Yeah. Good time.
Yeah?
Good time.
You know, there was no actual, get that back.
All right.
Haven't finished. There was no actual whack. It didn't give at all. Pass that round. For your lip.
Is that okay? Cool.
Is that rude? Mind nothing falls. What about this one? How do you think it's going to feel? Sting? Watch this end, not that end.
All right, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Back over there. I'll get something else, different sensation, just to make it feel better. We'll try a different type. So, that's just a nylon-y one. Again, not a lot. I'm not going to do it anymore because it's got a pretty handle. I don't want to break it. How do you think this one's going to feel compared to that last one?
Less, but still painful.
Carbon fibre.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling. And
Stingy.
lastly, I'll give you a treat. This is such a nice one. I wouldn't do this to just anybody, you know.
Look like a nice one.
That one, you've got a lovely swish. You have to stand back a bit. And also with these, you have to mind they don't wrap round. Because whereas on the buttocks, it's pretty much okay. Most people can put that. If I wrap the end of this round and it just clips her on the hip here, it's going to make her jump. Now, it is Izzy, so she probably will jump anyway. I don't really care. But you ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was red.
No,
Okay,
it wasn't.
you can get up now.
Yeah, I was.
Are you all right?
Well, I'm fine.
Sit on it, it'll take the pain away. Okay.
That's the best advice.
So,
Can I move? Are we done with the hitting portion?
just sit down.
All right.
So I'm only going over the most common things that you'll use for impact play. Now, obviously, there are so many things you can use. Go around your kitchen drawers, you'll find a whole load of stuff. However, it's not made for impact play, so you're not sure it's not going to splinter or do whatever. So you've got paddles that we started with, canes, and under canes, it just doesn't really go anywhere. And I'm only going to do it against the wall. I'm not going to do it against her because she may squeal. They're fun, okay? They don't half leave a bruise. Little carpet beaters. They do a lot more damage than you think they will. I'll pass that one round. I've lost my little sticky thing. Ah, there we go. These little sticks. You just, like that. and they bruise quite badly. Or the backside or any part of the body. When I bought that, the person that was selling it, I said, oh, go on, demonstrate it on my arm. I had a bruise for days, just once. The other popular item that people tend to use, I forget this will feel nice like a massage afterwards, are these lovely little things. Okay, nice little floggers. Now floggers, you can't really do a lot of damage with a flogger, not without damaging yourself with the effort of doing it, because it spreads the impact. Do you want the latex one or the furry one? Latex or fur?
We'll do fur.
You want
Is
the
that
fur?
it looks like ribbon.
It's ribbon and latex.
Oh.
So with the flogger, you can use it for tickling and all that sort of thing, or you can just give her a wallop with it. As you see, she's barely reacting. It's really not doing much. Can you react a bit more, make it look as if it hurts?
Okay.
Yeah. Are we ready? We'll try again.
Ow! Make it stop.
And then we've got the little fur ones, which are, they're more, it was, wasn't it? They're more sold as just sensation toys, but there's no point hitting somebody with that because it's just tickly. Can you see a potential problem with these things? I'm going to pass them round. Now, obviously, I spoke about cleanliness. What would you can get up now. It was just quite fun seeing you standing there.
Okay.
What do you think the potential problem with one of those is? You can't clean it. If you get any bodily fluids on one of those, it belongs to that person. You can't really share it. And one of the most horrible things that I've seen is shared suede floggers in dungeons. They give you them to use. And I stayed in one on a seaside town a while ago, and there was loads and loads of equipment for people to use, and it was like all suede floggers and insertables and all sorts of things.
Reusable like that.
Are these suede floggers rather than leather floggers or all floggers?
Anything porous, and leather is porous.
Right.
But only if it's fluid on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are we? Has anybody got any questions? We've got about 5 minutes left. I have got a little chart of safe-ish impact zones if anybody wants one.
What's your favourite?
My favourite? What, to whack somebody with? I've got a particular friend that I like caning. My favourites are that one. I don't know who tried that. Can you try this? Sure. The answer's yes.
Notice how happy I was to get up.
I see a tune track.
I know you're overjoyed to try, and that one, I thought I'd get that one out just ready. So let's try this one first. This one's really, do you remember when you passed it around, it was really light? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's light, but it really hurts. So I particularly like this one because it doesn't make my wrist ache. And why would I want to hurt myself? This one's even lighter, and it's so tactile. It's just really nice. I'm actually being very kind to Izzy by letting her backside try it, because, you know.
Okay.
Those are my favourite toys. Any more questions?
She's like, shut the fuck up.
Not just designed to get Izzy beaten up.
Can you show some techniques with the flogger? Which way you can
There are all sorts of ways that you can use a flogger. I've got one left, don't worry, it's fur. Up.
Oh.
Coming to that next, yes?
Up, down, up, down.
The pedals are relatively self-explanatory.
Yep.
But the piece of ironmongery it was passed around to start. How?
You'd have to ask Fudge, who's right over in the corner, because he made that.
What I usually use with heavy toys like that?
Yeah.
How so? What's
Like this one, you lay them down and then just rock it into them so you get a nice good.
What part of the body?
With a baseball bat, I get between the legs.
So techniques with one of these, you can either just open-handed wallop like this. I mean, this isn't hurting her, it's only rabbit fur. It's not really meant to do this. You can flick it like that which brings me on to the last little toy that I've got. See, that's just giving her a slight tickle. Some people get 2 and they do the Florentine, etc. I can't do that. I tie them in knots when I try that. But it's up to you. It's what suits you best. Also, consider the weight of the flogger, because that is well heavy enough for me. That's latex and ribbon. I wouldn't want to swing anything heavier. But I've got a friend that uses the really heavy ones. What are you doing? And he ended up hurting his shoulder when he does it. So you've got to protect yourself as well. Now, the last little thing that I've got is a dragon tail.
End it on a bang.
Who's flicked a tea towel at somebody in the kitchen? Hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's only made of cotton. This is made of suede. I'm not going to hit her particularly hard because I want her to run the stool for me again. So it's only a little. Do be aware that as much as the tea towel can damage you, this can cut you. Okay? You can flick it a lot harder, but I'm not going to.
Is that the only way you could use that?
You can, but it doesn't really do much. You need to get the flick on the end of it. Okay, that's. You can. There's lots and lots of different ways you can use them, but the design is to do that. Missed. Didn't miss. Didn't miss.
And as we talk question about that big thing, Floodhouse Dreams are the same. Same way we add nightmares.
So, any more questions? Yes.
On how to kind of be accurate when you're seeing which parts of the body to use.
Practice on a cushion. Okay? Preferably a patterned one, and pick out a bit of the pattern that you want to hit. The main thing to remember is to be accurate. I've got a few of these that people can take home if they want to. Oh, no, they're here. But you can look this up online. Okay, the red areas are areas to avoid. That's for general impact play, but if you're caning somebody, you need to be even more careful. You need to take their body size and shape into account. If you're caning somebody that's built like a stick, then they haven't got any protection for the bones and muscles and nerves that are underneath the flesh. If you're caning somebody that's a little bit bigger, they have got a bit more protection. And this is why we generally start on the backside, because it's a nice big squidgy area that you're not going to do a lot of harm. They're going to remember you for the next week. Every time they sit down, they're going to just think, that was lovely. Or words to that effect. Any more questions? What's the last thing you do when you've been playing? Aftercare. Aftercare. For whom? Both. People don't realise that the top can drop as well. Okay, the top or the dom who's playing may well get endorphins running around their body, all the rest of the chemicals that make you feel good, etc., etc. When they drop, it can make you feel a bit grotty. Personally, I laugh through all my way through most scenes when I'm topping. When I'm occasionally switching, I don't. But people do need to realise why the next day they may feel a bit grotty, they may feel a bit grumpy. Now, if you've been the bottom in a scene, you expect it. If you've been the top, you don't necessarily expect it. And the first few times it happens, you just think, oh, I'm being a bit grumpy, I'm having a bad day. But be aware. Any more? Thank you very much.